RIKKARDO'S Tales.
One morning, my car stopped in a small village called Legnere, so I had to wander around. While looking for a cooked food shop, I ran into two peculiar citizens, Bostans and Fischiato. What characterized these two men was that they were the only two in town that knew how to make signs. But each time Bostans made a sign, he wrote something false on it, while Fischiato would write something true. After having an interesting 2-hour conversation about noises with my new pals, I went back to my car and discovered a sign that said, "This sign was made by Bostans." This sounded as fake as a denture, but it couldn't be possible. To stop myself from thinking about it, I used my superpowers to fix my car and go back home to make fun of my new neighbor, because he was a widower and I was not.
That's so sweet.
One year, I decided to give my parents a nice Christmas present. I tried to be prepared in advance, but misfortune raged against me because that was the year Christmas mysteriously arrived in summer. It was impossible to pretend I hadn't noticed all that Christmas spirit, but I tried to do my best anyway, just like my teeth. I chose to give my father a bus ticket and a needle with some nut pills to my mother. I knew I'd done something wrong, and my parents made me realize right away. My father wanted nuts and needle, my mother the ticket instead. My father got so mad that he tied my aunt up to the chair and shaved all the hair off. Then he burned and threw the Christmas tree out of the window. And finally, he forced the dog to drink beer. It was the best Christmas Eve ever for our family. The only flaw was the lack of patience of my little cousin Jack, who opened his present 10 minutes too early, almost ruining Christmas for everybody. He was punished by being left without food for 2 weeks.
That's so sweet.
Once I received a package from someone I didn't know, so I had to go to the post office to get it. After waiting 27 days in line, they told me the package had gone to heaven. Since I couldn't understand whether they meant it was dead or flying in the sky, I decided to hug a man next to me tight. Amused, he slapped me in the face, and falling backwards, I mistakenly activated the fire alarm. The fire department never arrived. However, an old lady had the brilliant idea of staying there all night and have a slumber party. Since we didn't have any pajamas, we exchanged clothes. It was a fantastic night. We played Monopoly using breadcrumbs, and then we ate the fattest of us to get full. The next day, while going home, I realized I wasn't myself anymore. In fact, my idea unquestionably said I was Monica Bellardi. So I went back home to my kids, tied up the house, made dinner, and made love to my husband.
That's so sweet.
One day I wanted to become the best musician the world had ever seen. So I asked my neighbor to give me some advice. She didn't love me, and she lived very far away. She loved another man that I hated, because he might have been the best musician in the world. So I decided to go to London so I could get dressed and take pictures to upload them on Facebook so my friends could comment on them. However, after a while I realized that I had to be who I am and that I'm special, just like my teeth. Just so that everybody could understand that, I prepared some chocolate cookies and gave them to some lions I'd met in Greece when the Avatar movie didn't exist yet. While going to the public toilet, we realized that one of us didn't know how to pronounce the word goliardery. This didn't make me feel special at all. Therefore, I decided to wait for death, so I wouldn't have to worry about being someone who doesn't exist anymore.
That's so sweet.
When I wasn't born yet, my father took me to the stadium to watch a football game. I was very little, just like my teeth. Everyone was shouting bad things to the footballers, and we all got angry for no reason. I love when they goaled. My favorite player was Hand, because I felt a lot for him. He always scored awesome goals, but they were always unjustly annulled by the referee. Luckily, the young mercenary played in the same team. His goals were so beautiful that sometimes they were worth twice as much, sometimes even triple. For this reason, I decided that one day I would have become a footballer, to get money and beautiful women's pussy. When I became older, just like my teeth, I forgot all about it. And it came back to me while telling this story on a YouTube video. But at that moment, my dream was to exist before being born. Actually, I had already achieved this goal, but not being born yet, I couldn't know then. Thank God some years later I told this story and I remember that.
That's so sweet.
One day I was shopping for groceries, and I noticed an old lady had fallen on the floor. I thought I should help her, but I didn't do it. At the cash desk, I was told off by the cashier, who decided to offer me dinner so she could keep on telling me off. Needless to say that I fell in love with her. And to show her how much I loved her, I wrote a poem in Turkish, saying I loved her so much I would even be willing to eat her shit. Unfortunately, she didn't like it at all. She told me I was distasteful for writing those things, knowing that she wasn't able to read them, and reminding her she was illiterate. 15 days later, I realized what I'd done, and to be forgiven, I convinced the mayor to abolish the alphabet. He was so impressed by my courage that he named me the city's best friend. Now I'm helping lonely people to accept life and elderly women to hold plastic cups on the tips of their noses.
That's so sweet.
One day, a thief wanted to steal my toenails. So I decided to offer him a piece of cheese I had left in my pocket since I'd gone camping. Camping was really nice. I'd met two kids who looked exactly like me. In fact, people got us mixed up all the time, and we didn't understand why because we thought we were the same person. To solve this problem, they brought us to a gigantic amusement park. But I was afraid because once I had seen a movie where an adult man went on a roller coaster and shot himself in the head. Now that I'm a grown man, I fear guns more because they scare me. The time I was most scared was when somebody threatened to stab me. And to save myself, I hoped nothing would happen. And from that day, as a matter of fact, nothing ever happened again.
That's so sweet.
In 2004, I decided that I would become a non-famous director. The first thing I had to do was to find an idea. And inspired by the visit of Saint Padre Pio of Petralcina, I wrote the story of a man who wanted to eat mirrors, but he couldn't because his mother didn't want him to. The script was so beautiful that I fell in love with it. But obviously, it didn't want me because I liked it. It kept dating my friend Tommy, and each time I had to wait for it until late. I would have told it off, but one morning it left some chocolate cookies just for me. After making up, I searched for actors to cast for my first film. Since the script and I were the only ones to know the story, it played the main character and I played his mother. We only needed the mirror. We both opted for auditions, but I'm going to tell you about this the next time.
That's so sweet.
When the script of my movie and I decided to act in my feature film entitled The No Mirror Eater, we opened a casting to choose who would play the mirror. 435,067 people showed up at the audition. Half of them were 56 years old earless Scottish postmen. We met many nice and fun people. An 87-year-old man made us some chocolate cookies and called us by our first names like real friends do. Unfortunately, his performance was too theatrical and script was looking for something more spontaneous. We told him that we would have let him know. The last one to do the audition was Jack the Wardrobe. As soon as he entered in the room, we both thought he was perfect. After 2 lines, we were sure. Now we could shoot the movie. But I'm going to tell you about it in the next episode.
That's so sweet.
When me and the script chose Jack the Wardrobe to play the role of the mirror in my movie, we came across some big problems. Big like dinosaurs' teeth. Jack couldn't understand his character's motivations and kept readjusting the lines, feeling they sounded more spontaneous and right. But when he changed the line, "Help, help, he wants to eat me," to "Milady, I should be the one ripping those fucking stereo speakers off," I didn't have any choice but to tell it to stop it. And he said okay. The last day of production, while we were shooting the kiss scene between the son and the mother, it started snowing. We went to the window and we were amazed by the beauty of the now white landscape, as white as snow, and my teeth. We would have stayed friends forever if it wasn't for some bloodthirsty roadies that came inside to kill and rape us all.
That's so sweet.
Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to see more stuff, you should click here. You will find more videos like the first season and the third season of Rickardo's Tales. Convenient.